Hello folks, howdy howdy. We are moving today's class over to here today. Hello. We're not doing Zoom today. We are going to be going live right here in this group. So, let me tag those that need to be tagged in. Let's see. Hope everyone is doing fabulous. Happy day after Christmas, or happy Boxing Day if you celebrate it. Alrighty. So something that is important to know about me is that I'm a bit of a tech granny. So I often have trouble with kind of tech stuff, but I always feel that there's a way to do it that is better, that is easier, that I don't have to stress about. So today, this is not perfect. I really wanted to see you guys face to face, but now what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be going through this. So alrighty, I'll give people a minute to jump on, and I'll tag the ladies who were in the group. Let's see. And okay. All right, if you're there, let me know you're there. And we will start in just a moment. Hydrate and dehydrate at the same time. All right. Let me know you're there. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know where you're watching from. All right. Hi, Taylor. Oh, I'm glad you could join. How was your Christmas? Hi, Jessica. So you can totally be in my video. We're gonna go only if the baby is here. The baby's next door. Hi, Damon, or Joan. Hi, Joan. Okay, just waiting for a couple more people to jump on. Let me know how your Christmas was. Was it low-key? Was it wild? Were there tantrums and tears? Was it fun? We got a big blended family together, about 3 or 4, maybe 5 families together. It was a little bit madness and mayhem, but it worked out well. It worked out well. It was baby's first Christmas. I didn't buy anyone any gifts because I'm just not a good gift giver, but I just try and be present and just be thoughtful and thankful. That's kind of like I got some socks. I got a blanket. All right. Alrighty. So now that we have a couple people watching and we can get started, I'm going to share with you the format of this so you kind of know how it's going to go. So just FYI, guys, this is a really compact lesson workshop that I am giving you today. So I really, really recommend pens, papers, or notepads or whatever, because there's a lot of info. If you can get people to chill and just listen, or give you space, I highly, highly recommend this, because you're literally going to get more value, than if you read like 10 books. So let's get started. So the format of today is I'm going to be sharing with you who I am, what I do briefly for those of you who don't know me. Then I'm going to be sharing with you the most common mistakes that people make when they're trying to heal teeth and gums. And then I will be sharing with you exactly the framework that you need to heal your teeth and gums naturally from home, with ease, with pleasure, with joy, and not expensive either, which is really, really important. And then I am going to jump into the planning session with you so that you will have a really, really clear idea by the end of this session what you need to be doing on the daily to be healing. And then finally, we're going to have the Q&A. So if you'd like to jump on live at the end, jump on and speak to me, you absolutely can. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat now. If you are watching live, you can ask questions. I will not be answering replay questions, but I would love to know if you are watching the replay. So let's get into it. So, who am I? Some of you know me, some of you don't. I will be looking at my notes every now and then to keep me on track, but hello. So, my name is Alexandra Cutis. I am not a dentist. I am a holistic dental health coach. So, how did I get into this wacky world of natural healing? I got in here by having my own health crisis in which I experienced 3 teeth dying in my head and had no idea what was going on, why that was happening. I'm 34 now. I was 24 at the time, and I was absolutely confused beyond belief why that would be happening, right? Because I felt like I was the healthiest I'd ever been. I was on a vegan diet. I worked a physical job in the sun. Not like I worked at a farmer's market. So I was like out in fresh air and nature, using my body. I was going to yoga 2 times a week. I was spending time with my dog. I was happy and I was feeling good. I had energy. I was eating this diet that I thought was really healthy for me, and my body just fell apart. My body just, everything felt good except my teeth. And I went from having a little bit of pain, occasionally a little bit of sensitivity, a little bit of, occasional cavities here and there, to all of a sudden it was like pain and sensitivity and like cavities, and just one of my teeth crumbled in half when I was sitting eating a piece of soft bread with my girlfriend. I just went, and half of my tooth came out. And we looked at each other and we were like, what just happened? And I couldn't for the life of me understand what was going on. So I'm very, very, very lucky that I didn't have the money at the time to pay the dentist, because when I finally went to the dentist, they told me, you're going to need $24,000 worth of work, right? $24,000 worth of work. So I'd be really interested to hear what the most amount of money that you've been quoted or that you've spent on your dental health is. And I'd be curious to hear if it's helped too. So let me know guys, how much have you been quoted, or how much is the most you've spent? So I didn't have dental insurance, but honestly, I'm so thankful I didn't, because if I did have dental insurance and I could have afforded that, I wouldn't be here where I am today, which is I had to learn how to heal my teeth naturally. I had to learn how to go the natural route and not go through the dentist. And because of that, so a lot of times we talk about side effects, right? When we have Western medicine, there's really only side benefits to learning how to heal naturally, right? So the side benefits of healing my teeth naturally was that I got my skin under control. I'd had acne for 13 years. I got my mood under control. I had mood swings and I had chronic fatigue. I could fall into depression really easily. And like when I would fall into it, it would take a long time to get out, and I was suicidal. And I haven't had a major depressive episode since. And that's been 10 years. I've had mild. I was like, I told my partner, I was like, ooh, I'm feeling a little bit of seasonal depression, right? This time last year, because I was pregnant and I was alone, and it was COVID and it was lockdown, and I couldn't get out of the house, and I was tired, and I was, needing a lot that I wasn't getting. So that to me was huge. Those side benefits were huge. I healed yeast infections. I healed candida. I healed HPV. I didn't even know I could heal HPV. Guys, like, I know this is kind of a laundry list, but when I work with people one-on-one, they have these amazing transformations too. There's leaky gut. People have told me, yeah, my leaky gut has been healed. I can go to the bathroom now, and it's not a whole song and dance. It's pleasurable. What else have we got? One woman, her C-section scar she said it was always angry and red, and it softened and it just flattened. And this was in less than 6 weeks. Her brain fog cleared up. All kinds of like amazing things, energy as well. So I'm thankful, even though I had so much pain. I'm thankful that I did not have the money at the time, and I learned how to do it naturally. I'm thankful that I was able to help other people, and that leads me on to my mission. So my mission is to help other people learn the same, is to help other people understand that just like your bones, your teeth can heal. Just like your muscles, your gums can heal. Okay? There is no reason, right? If your eyeballs can heal, there is no reason that your teeth and your gums should not be able to heal. Okay? And honestly, from an evolutionary perspective, it does not make sense that the thing that we need to use the most, our mouth, for eating and keeping ourselves alive, is a one-way street. That if you mess up and you don't have the right nutrition, or something happens, that's it, you're done, right? That you're going to starve to death now. Because hundreds of thousands of years ago, there wasn't a lot of soft food around. If you couldn't chew, you were out of there, right? And so, hi Tammy. So, I want you to think about this, right? Because I want to bust this myth for you if you're new to me and you're kind of skeptical a little bit about this healing stuff. I want you to think about a skull, right? And we see these skulls all the time. We see these ancient skulls, right? This skull of the early caveman, 100,000 years. This skull, 200 years. I was in Paris in the catacombs, a couple hundred, that was, I think it was like the 17 or 1800s, when there was a plague, and they just had nowhere that they could put all these bodies, right? So they dug tunnels underground, and they used the bones to line them. It was really, really creepy. Anyway, you're going through these tunnels with thousands and hundreds of thousands of skeletons, right? All the walls were lined with people's skulls. And what do you see? They all have their teeth. Wide arches, space for all the teeth, top and bottom. And what do you think that humans' teeth look like today, right? If you took a skull from the average modern human that didn't have braces, that didn't have any, dental work, you would see toothless, missing teeth, completely jagged teeth that are crowded, teeth that are impacted, and really small jaws with faces that do not fit all these teeth, right? So something has happened in the last 100 years that has created this change in our skeletons, and also unfortunately in the way we think about things, in the way we think about our teeth. So I'm so glad that you are here today, because Whether you are new to me or you've been with me some time, I'm here to remind you of what you know deep down in your collective ancestral consciousness, which is that that there is nothing wrong with you. Your teeth and your gums are a reflection of you didn't know. And that information, a lot of the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today has been purposely suppressed, unfortunately, or some of it is like has not been shared, and other of it has been purposely suppressed. So please, please, please understand that tooth decay and gum disease are not moral failings, but they're also not natural. And so what I always tell people when they come into my world and they go, oh my God, I wish I'd known this before, is I do too, but we don't know what we don't know until we know it, right? And then once we know, now we have the ability to make the change. Okay. So I make sure that you're the right person watching the right, because, obviously this is your Sunday. Let's make sure you're in the right place, which if you're in this group, you probably are, but let's just make sure. So you are in the right place if you believe that you can heal naturally. If you really don't believe that you can heal naturally, if you think this is all BS and you're just here to kind of, I don't know, prove me wrong because you're like super skeptical, maybe, I know there's some dentists in this group and many of them do believe that you can heal naturally, but some of them don't. If you just feel like there's no way you can heal naturally, this is probably not the right place for you. It's probably going to be a waste of your Sunday evening, right? If you are looking for a magic pill, if you are just hoping I'm going to sell you some product that you take monthly or you take daily, and that you won't have to change or learn or, do anything differently apart from taking a pill every day, this is not the place for you. Okay, naturally means naturally, and, a pill is not a part of a natural human diet. There are some food-based supplements out there which are great, but again, these things on their own are not going to help you. I'm going to be teaching you a framework so that you understand how your issues have come about from being misaligned as a human, right? Alignment, the alignment of being human. Most people these days are not in alignment with how humans naturally thrive and flourish, right? They're in artificial light. They're sitting inside, just like me right now, in the dark, not breathing fresh air, not getting the right foods for what their unique needs are, and we're suffering for it. And we're disconnected from each other, and we're disconnected from our true nature. So if you want a pill, you're probably not in the right place. And then you are in the right place if you believe that healing naturally is possible. If you believe that the body has a miraculous ability to heal, you're in a fabulous place if you've ever healed anything naturally yourself, or if you prefer to look for natural alternatives first. You're in a phenomenal place if you are a natural-minded person and you're just like, but I don't understand why my teeth are having the issues, right? I work with a lot of people, because this is how I was. I work with a lot of people that are health, like almost gurus in their area, but the teeth are causing them issues. And so it's the missing piece of the puzzle, or the pieces of the puzzle, that they come to me for, and it just takes them to the next level. So you're in the right place if you're natural-minded, if you're open-minded, if you're ready to learn, and you're excited to learn a framework and kind of shift your thinking so that you can really start healing naturally in every aspect of your life. I cannot stress to you guys how much this information has helped me, to the point where I didn't think I could have a child. And I have the most healthy, wonderful baby, and I used everything that I used to heal my teeth in my pregnancy, and so I've been spared real issues with, cavities post baby too, which happens a lot. All right, let me just take a peek and see if there's been any questions or any comments. I've been told all the spaces between all my teeth are on watch for cavities and my back molars need to be sealed. Yeah. Okay, so Laura, you're going to be extra benefit from this class, because if we're watching them, that means they're on the border, but that doesn't mean that that means they're in the danger zone, but that there's a lot you can do to make sure that doesn't happen and to really strengthen them. And especially as women, we really need to be on top of getting what we need, because our bodies, our cycles, right? I'm breastfeeding and I'm on my period right now. So I need extra nutrition and extra support, and extra just of everything in the framework because my body, is being depleted on a daily basis. All right. Hi, Addie. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jolie. Hi, Nikisha. Okay, my gums have been so bad since having babies. Yeah, you're in the right place, because this is so normal. And it shouldn't be normal, but it's understandable why this is happening. And so I'll be sharing more about that. Hi, Ziri, Wendy, Ellie. Oh, Amy, I got my period back like 1.5 or 2 months after giving birth. So how about that? I don't know. Maybe I'm super fertile now. I don't know. Okay, I have endometriosis. It's been active since last month, so my body is all of a sudden out of whack. Yeah, so all of these things are connected, and we need to get in balance. So everyone here is, I'm not a big fan of sealants. Again, natural, right? Teeth are porous. But the reality is, okay, we'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of myself, because I have so much to share with you that is going to help you. And you can ask any follow-up questions at the end, Ellie. Yeah, okay. Oh, I love it. I love all the natural-minded women and a couple of men in here who help each other. So that's fantastic. So, okay, so let's jump in. And let me know what you're dealing with. Let me know why you came here today. Do you have cavities? Because normally I run either for teeth or gums, but today I'm doing for both, and we're in the general group today, so we're going to have all kinds of things. Are you here for yourself? Are you here for a child? Are you here for a family member? I will say, you probably, if you're in here for a partner, a romantic partner, like a spouse, a boyfriend, whatever, it's probably not going to work. I will say that. That's the one thing. If you're in here for yourself or your child, great. If you are in here for another adult, they need to be in here. They need to take the impetus. You cannot force somebody to make shifts, even if those shifts are pleasurable and they're enjoyable and they are going to change the person's mood and their life and their health. Each person needs to make that concerted decision. I want to change, right? So if you're in here for yourself or your child, fabulous. If you're not, send my information over to the person that you're trying to help, because really each person needs to be committed to their own healing. Okay, so let's jump into the main mistakes that I see people make when they are trying to heal teeth and gums naturally. Now, if this is you, go ahead and drop, yep, this is kind of what I've thought, and you'll see why some of the ways you've thought about things have caused you unknowingly problems, caused you damage. And this happened to me. So there's a no judgment zone, but just once we learn and we are able to own our mistakes, there is the ability to change. So Hi, Jamie, you made it. Awesome. Okay. So the first one is that people put too much emphasis on oral care. Most people believe that oral care is like 80% of preventing decay. 80% of preventing decay in both teeth and gums, right? Let me know if this is you. If you are guilty of thinking that your oral care routine is kind of the main reason why you're having teeth or gum issues. Okay, let me have some water too. So, here's the thing. Do you think that our caveman ancestors had toothbrushes? Do you think they had toothpaste? Do you think they had mouthwash, floss? No, in fact, actually most people around the world don't have access to these things, but what we see is that the people that have the most issues with teeth are usually the ones doing the most brushing, flossing, all of that. So, what's really going on here? What's really going on here is that you can be doing damage with your oral care routine. You might be using commercial products that are not regulated very well. They don't really take into account the oral microbiome, right? They work more on the concept of the mouth is dirty and the mouth needs to be clean, and that we're going to use antiseptic, or we're going to use antibacterial. We're going to kill the bacteria. Think about Listerine. It says kills 99.9% of germs. And the reality is we need a healthy oral microbiome. So most people in here are women, and we know that you're not supposed to douche. We know you're not supposed to douche, right? Because you throw off, you don't need to put soap up there because you throw off the natural microbiome of inside of you, right? Same thing with the mouth. You do not need to be stripping and killing and fighting things in your mouth. You need to be bringing them into balance, okay? And the way to bring these things into balance is more gently than less gently, right? So, let's see here. So that's the first mistake I see a lot of people make. Just going way too hard in their mouth and neglecting the fact that tooth decay only has about 20% to do with your oral care routine. Okay, it's not 80%, it's about 20%. It might even be as much as 10%, right? There are definitely people who live really well, they're fully in balance, they're connected to the framework that I'm going to be sharing with you today, and they don't have tooth decay and they don't brush their teeth ever, okay? So I want you to let go of the fact that you need to brush twice a day, you need to floss, you need to do all of this in order to keep your teeth and your gums healthy, or reverse, right? So just relax. I just want you to take a moment, take that information in, and just breathe. Whew. Okay. Now you can brush, but you don't have to obsessively brush. Now you can floss, but you don't have to obsessively floss, right? And something that's really beautiful is when you start to relax a little bit, you start to become less stressed. What does stress cause in the body? Stress causes disease in the body, okay? Stress causes disease. And disease, disease can be found in gum disease. Disease can be found in tooth decay, okay? So see how these things are connected? I'm not telling you don't brush your teeth. I'm telling you that's just one small piece of the puzzle, and you don't need to go so hard, right? When you think that's the only piece of the puzzle, you're going to go super hard, right? I've talked to a lot of people. Oh, I'm in there flossing till my gums bleed. I'm in there brushing, and my family think I'm so ridiculous. You are not ridiculous, but you can breathe. You can relax. Okay? So let's move on. Don't worry, I'm going to give you the full picture. This is just one piece of the puzzle. So another thing that people think is when they learn, oh, it's a lot of it is related to diet, to nutrition. They think, oh God, now I have to go on a really restrictive diet, right? Let me know if you are guilty of this. I have to go on a really restrictive diet now. No. But they think, I can't do gluten. I can't do gluten. I can't do dairy because it's mucus forming. I can't do sugar. I can't do grains. And you're just thinking, God, what? They're thinking, what do I have left, right? Some people come to me and they're like, I want to do this. I want to jump on and I want to heal my teeth, but I can't restrict any more things. And I tell them, probably part of what's going wrong in your mouth or your child's mouth or, your family's mouth is that you have restricted too many things. And you haven't learned how to eat everything. Because human beings, we are opportunistic omnivores. We would not have made it if we couldn't eat everything. We wouldn't have. Like, there's definitely people who eat more intense diets, right, from different places in the world. Like the Maasai, they eat like animal livers and like blood and like raw milk and that's it. And they have like perfect teeth. But like not everybody has that opportunity. And if there was only one way to eat, then we would be in trouble. We would be in big trouble. Big trouble. But humans have thrived from all over the world under all kinds of conditions because when the favorite things that we like to eat aren't around, we start looking at the ground and being like, that root looks kind of interesting. Maybe if I boil it and add some of this and add some of that. Does that feel better, guys? Does that help you relax a little bit? That you don't need to be on a restrictive diet? That you just need to understand why a restrictive diet is harmful and that certain foods need to be prepared, sourced, selected, and prepared carefully. With care. I shouldn't say carefully, with care, right? So I'll get into that later as well. Let me pause for one moment and see what you guys have been saying. Okay, I came here today because I have cavities. My teeth have started to go translucent at the tips. I want to learn how to fix them. You are so in the right place. Okay, both my girl and myself. Wonderful, Amy. Yep. So that's such a gift to give to your child. Let me know if as a child you had cavities and you know the fear and the terror around the dentist, because I was one of them, and I'm just the way I might cry. I might cry saying this, but like the feeling of knowing that my child doesn't have to go through what I went through, even if there ends up being some tooth issues, because I don't want to say, oh, we will never have any issues. There might be some issues, right? But I now know, and everybody that comes and works with me intensively knows, and you will know how to make that dentist experience not so scary, because the average person walks into a dentist appointment kind of like someone who knows nothing about cars walks into a mechanic, and it's like, this is what I got, what do you see, tell me what I need to do, right? And there's a lot of discrepancies between dentists. Dentists can really tell you, oh, it's just this small thing, or it's just this big thing, right? They can tell you, oh, you're fine, or they can tell you, oh no, you need 3 root canals, right? And this might be the same tooth, right? And so once we start to become empowered and understand what's going on with our teeth, we can get into these appointments, right? And we become the boss, right? We are partnering with professionals instead of being at their mercy. I do not have the experience of dentists shaming me anymore, right? Because I haven't done what they say I should do. I have the experience of we have a conversation and I let them know. I ask them, hey, can you look at this and tell me what you think? And they tell me. And then I discuss my options with them and then we move forwards. Because if you've had a lot of dental work in your life, you unfortunately know that dental work is not a fix it forever type of thing. The average filling has a 7 to 20 year lifespan. So, all the work in my mouth needs to be consistently is coming due, because obviously it's been 10 years. So I got a lot of work done, as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and then nothing new since then, but all my fillings need to be also maintained. I have right here a cap that fell off that I need to go and get handled, but I've not done it for a year because I was pregnant, right? And I didn't want to go and get any dental work when I was pregnant because I wanted to be very careful about my baby. And that is a really, really big deal, to be able to hold off dental work because you're so secure in that your teeth won't crumble, right? Because it's considered a medical emergency when you have a cap fall off, because that tooth is very is vulnerable. But I've just made sure to really load up on what I need and really support myself in every way so that I didn't have to go in before I was ready. Okay, so Jamie, I went for vegan for 2 years. I'm experiencing my teeth failing and weird rashes. They said it was detox symptoms, but I don't think so. I'm down another rabbit hole finding Dr. Norton and Weston Price. My child also has 2 rotting teeth and he is autistic, so hoping to help him again. To help him, he is not vegan. Yeah, so Jamie, I think you missed the part where I was sharing how I was vegan for 2.5 years and I really felt really healthy, but then I started having severe issues with teeth. So stick around. I'm going to give you the scoop on diet because a lot of people come and ask me, like, do I have to not be vegan to heal? And I want to answer that question for you guys because it's a really, really important question. Okay, Zuri, you looking after yourself? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So it's a really great feeling to heal before we go to the dentist. And then any little things that they need to do, they can do, but they're not going and drilling deeper into good tooth to do this, that, and the other and cause more problems. Because some of the main problems that I've had in my life with my teeth have been from dentists not doing the correct work and it creating more issues in my mouth. Fillings that fell out that turned into really big cavities that turned into root canals, and it's just not where we want to be, right? Okay, Jamie, I'm glad I pronounced it correctly. If I pronounced it incorrectly that time, I apologize. Just out here doing my best. Okay. I think you guys might find this funny. I'm Alexandria. They wrote Alexandria. I'm Alexandra, but that happens all the time. Okay. I think it's because when everything was forming, my mom smoked while pregnant, didn't breastfeed, didn't have great nutrition while adult teeth were forming. Yeah, Ellie, there's so much that goes into a healthy skeletal system, right? So remember that our teeth are just the part of the skeletal system that we can see, right? It's not that different from the rest of our bones, pretty much the same. But a lot of it is in utero, a lot of it is in the first year of life. It's exhausting being a human boob, right, for my baby. He's literally feeds like at least 20 times a day. But I know the benefits. I'm doing my best. Balance, everything in balance, absolutely. Yeah, my blood pressure spikes every time I go. Yeah, and that creates issues too in your body. So, if nothing else, I hope this class, well, you're going to get so much from this class, but if nothing else, I hope this class gives you a sense of peace and security and a little bit more trust in yourself and your body's innate wisdom. And as women, we always get told to outsource our intuition and our body wisdom to generally men, generally older white men who are in the medical profession, who don't know anything firsthand about what we're going through. And, you know, a lot of these doctors are now moving more into pharmaceuticals to the point where they don't really know how to do anything except fix band-aids put band-aids on our symptoms, which cause more symptoms and more issues because we're not addressing the root cause. Okay, what stresses me out a lot is my dentist said not to sip enjoy coffee to drink it ASAP. F that dude. Sorry. As you can see, I am sipping. Okay, but coffee is my comfort food. I don't mind brushing my teeth right after to not enjoy it. Okay. So Zuri, I'll get into why that's not the most important thing ever, is, you know, the idea of not sipping things. And if you feel like you didn't get your answer to the question, then at the end, let me know, and then I'll go over it. They want me to get root canals and extract my wisdom teeth. Yeesh, okay. I don't feel that's right for you either. 8 weeks postpartum, exclusively breastfeeding. Congrats, and that's hard. You need lots and lots of support, Mama. Lots. So I'm really glad you're here today. Okay. So the final kind of mistake that I see people making that causes issues in their teeth is that they feel that they can achieve someone else's results by borrowing someone else's roadmap. Okay? So let me say that again. How many people here have felt like they could achieve someone else's results by borrowing someone else's roadmap? Like, if you could just get a hold of all the things that I did to heal my teeth back in 2011, then you could just heal your teeth too, or your gums, right? That's something that people think a lot, and it gets people in trouble. And it's part of why I started this group, and it's part of why I started specializing in teeth, because I really wanted to help people out of that thought pattern. Because what happens is you get in a group like this, or you go online and you read the different diets, and you end up trying a bunch of different things, and it doesn't work for you. And it kind of hurts you. You know what I mean? It takes away your hope, right? Like kind of think about the people who are constantly dieting for weight loss. Not only does constantly dieting for weight loss, because most of these diets that people are on are calorie restriction diets, dressed up in different forms, but they're calorie restriction diets, which actually harm the metabolism, slow the metabolism down, right? Especially for women, because we need what we need. And when our body doesn't get it, it says, okay, we need to slow it down. She's not getting a lot. She's in a war zone. And women are putting the weight back on more. They're harming themselves, right? And so that's the same thing. Hi, Martha. That's the same issue with teeth. If you go and you're trying everybody's protocol and everybody's, what worked for everybody else, and it doesn't work for you, and it probably won't work for you because you're not them, right? They have specific needs that you didn't have. You have totally other different set of needs. Then when it doesn't work for you, hope dies a little bit, right? And maybe you can get some results for a while, but if it's not the right things that you need, it becomes exhausting. It becomes unsustainable, right? We can't live off a 1,300 calorie diet forever. We can't live off of somebody else's personal roadmap for their own personal greatness. So I joke around with my students a lot about how some of my favorite foods that are my teeth healing foods are it's liver. and it's sauerkraut. What else are some things that people hate? I can't think, but those are two right now, right? And I love them. And you know, some of my students are like, I hate them. I would never touch them with a 10-foot pole. And that doesn't mean they can't heal, right? If they try and force themselves to eat liver and eat sauerkraut, right? Foods that maybe not biologically like the best foods for their body, what happens when you're just disgusted by something? Do you think you're getting the full nutrition out of it? Or do you think it's actually almost like a poisonous effect in your body? I won't go as far as to say it's poison, but how we experience things has a huge impact on how they affect our bodies. If we hate something, it's not going to do as much for us as if we love something. So there's so many options out there. We might as well find the things that we love, that meet our needs, and that's where it becomes a personalized protocol. So if you are not looking for your own personal protocol, you are going to unfortunately most likely fail. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? That maybe you've tried to do what other people have told you to do, but it hasn't worked for you. One more thing I'm going to add to this is, you know, this group is about 3,000 people. I have a couple other groups of like 100 or so people, and I talk to a lot of people pretty regularly. And something that I've realized, unfortunately, is that a lot of people are passing the same information that they've heard, but they don't know if it works. So I have people messaging me, and they are having issues with their teeth, but then they're going and they are recommending to other people, oh, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. But they haven't healed their teeth. They haven't healed their gums, right? So they're giving other people advice that they don't know if it works or not, right? So I want you to really take your time, figure out who you're going to listen to. You need to, and try and drown out everybody else, because everybody has an opinion. Everyone will tell you. I could go out and ask my 19-year-old sister right now, hey, what does it take to heal teeth? And she could tell me. But does she know? No, she doesn't know. You know, but she thinks she knows, right? So let's get into what it does take to heal those teeth, right? Let's get into what it does take to heal those teeth and gums, so that we can get you on your planning session for the year. Okay? So there's five main areas. So the first main area, I'm going to start with the smallest area. That's that oral care I was telling you about. The second area, right? So we want to make sure that your teeth and your gums are not being harmed by your oral care routine. The second one is your nutrition. There's nutritional aspects of healing. Most people, but especially most women, are deficient. And when our bodies are deficient in minerals, guess where it starts to pull out from? Our teeth and our gums. Some of the easiest places for our bodies to pull out from. But when it pulls out from our teeth and our gums, it's also pulling out from our skeletal system or our muscles, right? This is why a lot of people do not age well. They become weak, they become frail. They fall and they break a hip, right? This is why we have so many seniors with no teeth. They fall and they break a hip because their bone density is low, super low, right? Exactly. So another thing that causes pulling from our bodies is pregnancy. We are making a whole new life with our bodies. And most women are not getting what the food they need, the nutrition they need. Those prenatals, they're not cutting it, ladies. They're not. Like, when you start to really look at it, supplements, our bodies don't recognize supplements as much as we would like to believe that our bodies can recognize synthetic vitamins from supplements. Okay, so nutritional aspects. We need to keep that in mind. Most people need help the most on this, okay? But we also have to take into account our environment. Our environments can help us heal, or they can harm and stop us from healing. And most people who live in modern day apartments and houses are so disconnected from the natural rhythms of life, myself included, that when we go to sleep at night, it becomes very hard to heal. And so this is something I've had to take really, really seriously. I've seen the effects of when I don't make sure that my environment is really supporting my healing, right? Because if you're sleeping and you're not getting the benefit of rest, then what is it all for anyway? So if you're not waking up feeling fresh and excited for the day, you maybe have to think about looking at how do I make my sleep better. I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is really important. Okay. The next aspect, this is one that most people don't know about. I didn't know about until the last couple years. Physiological aspects of healing. Physiological aspects of healing. That means how we breathe, how we chew, how we sleep, how we sit, how we stand affects our healing and our healing around our mouth and our gums, and it affects whether we're getting decay or not, right? So you can kind of see how one area alone, if the other areas are strong, probably you're going to have a pretty resilient body. But if you have multiple areas that are not great, you're going to have a snowball effect. And this is how it can slide very quickly. You can go from bad to worse really fast, right? Say you're okay, you're okay, and then you have a baby. Now all of a sudden you have all these issues because you just got depleted, right? And the other areas were just kind of like okay too, right? So the final aspect is emotional. There are emotional aspects of healing teeth and gums. And there's emotional aspects that contribute to why we end up showing problems in our teeth and gums, right? And, you know, there's stress, there's trauma, there's pain, there's unvoiced emotions and unvoiced words that get stuck almost in our teeth and show up in our mouths, right? Like how many of you feel like you really speak your truth, like all day, every day? I'm like really good at this, but I'm like, oh, there's some things like, I don't know if I want to go on Facebook and say that because, you know, I might get banned, and then how am I gonna connect? How am I gonna communicate? What about my 5,000 photos? All my friends will be lost, you know? And so these things all really add up to make a picture of whether we're healthy and thriving, or we're barely surviving, or we're falling apart, right? Okay. Yes. Okay. So those are the 5 areas. Those are the 5 areas, guys. I'm going to look through, see what you guys are saying. And then we're going to go into the planning, okay? All right. I have not heard of Wallach's Warriors. I have not. Okay. Okay. So let's jump into the planning. So I've never done this before. I'm actually developing a really in-depth planning session for my students. So if you're in my paid containers, this is what's coming for you, but more worksheets and all that fun stuff. So I'm very, very excited to share this with you guys for the first time. So the crux of the work that I do is I help people create a personal power protocol. That means they basically have a 1-page, by the time they're done with my 6-week program, they basically have a 1-page menu of the foods and the nutrition that are biologically appropriate to them, that are going to heal them. So it becomes very easy to start making meals. They also know if there's environmental aspects they need to change in their home, and that's so cool because it's like once you, I'm going to show you this. This is very ugly, but this is working. And then my room is a little crazy right now, but check this out. Oh, can you guys see in the corner, taped up, there's a weird looking piece of fabric. That weird looking piece of fabric is an EMF blocker. I have 5 smart meters outside of my window. I have a baby, and that is not ideal. So once you figure out what you need to do to make your home environment or the places that you spend the most time like locked in, things get a lot better, right? You will be surprised. And I put this section in when I went through. I didn't really think it was that important until I lived in a place that caused so many issues that I started getting cavities for the first time in years. My dog started having gum disease. His teeth started floating around. And it was so bad we had to move. Like this is like very few people will have to move, but it was like so bad. There was like literally black mold in my home, and that was only one of the many issues. We moved out, my cavities started disappearing, and like that, my dog's teeth, my dog's gums started going hard again. So okay. So we've got, where was I? Okay, planning. So what you need to be doing, folks, let me know if you're busy. Let me know if you're a busy human, you've got a lot of things going on in your life, and you don't have time to be spending all day in the kitchen. You don't have time to be thinking every single day what you're making for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you don't have time for like making a bunch of different meals for people. Let me know if that's you, because that's definitely me. And this is something I'm developing now because I need to make things more easy for myself. Now that I have a child, it's extra work, right? I used to call it bachelorette cooking. Now it's probably gonna move into like busy family cooking, you know? I don't have time to make a bunch of meals. I don't have time to sit around and cook all day. I don't have time to be sourcing a million ingredients, right? Okay, single mom homeschooling my 5 kids. Okay, girl, if you ever come up with a course for, you know, helping around that, let me know, because I will buy it. Because I want to homeschool, and I'm just like, homeschooling 1 kid is going to be wild. Okay, very busy between 2 jobs and college. Yes. Okay, mom of 6, always in the damn kitchen. Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh. So hopefully those kids can start cooking for you soon. Homeschool mom, work 5 days a week. Husband, house, very busy. Okay, so I just want to back up and say real quick, thank you guys for spending this time with me. I hope, well, I know it's going to be beneficial to you. I'm making sure it's going to be beneficial to you. So thank you. I'm honored that you're here with me today. I love it. I love meeting you all and getting to know you better, because some of you are new to me and some of you have known for a while. Okay, so this is basically what we need to do. For the planning session, you need to get really clear on how you eat, or how works best for you. How works best for you. You're so welcome, Zuri. It's my absolute pleasure. So recognize that this 3 times a day situation, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, may not be working for you, right? That is a cultural construct. It's a cultural menu. It's a cultural time frame that may not be appropriate to your individual biology. So, for example, I have learned that I don't need breakfast, or what people term breakfast, right? I consider the first meal of my day breaking my fast, but I don't usually eat until 12:30. So what do? I found that a really, really nutritious tasty, delicious drink in the morning will hold me through till 12:30. And after that, I need a nutritious meal that's easy to make on the go, right? I know it's 12:30 when I start to get hungry. So first of all, with your planning session, I want you to really think, okay, what are the time frames that are useful for me and for my family, right? Are we a breakfast at 7 in the morning people? If all the littles can't finish all their food, is it stuff that they can pack and go, right, in a Tupperware, and they can finish later? Because do they get hungry when they get to school? And you don't really want to be like hounding people, right? You don't want to be you want to have wonderful experiences to the best of your ability around food. And you don't want to be hounding your members of your family to be eating. So you want to ask yourself, when's our first meal? What are we needing? How quickly are we hungry again, right? And then you want to start filling in that. So for me, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to go, okay, my first meal is not going to be until 12:30 or later. What should it be? I've looked at it this way. I need my morning drink, then I need my personal power breakfast, and then my next meal comes around, and I'm still working this out for myself. Next meal will probably come around 5 o'clock, and that looks like happy hour for me, which is awesome. I usually go out and do some work, and I get like a little nibbles around town for a low price, which is amazing. And then I have a later dinner. So I teach to be very mindful of your ethnicity, your ethnic heritage when you're eating. And I feel that I'm half Greek, and I grew up very, very heavy in my Greek family culture. And the Greeks don't eat till anywhere between 8 and midnight, right? So you can find me eating at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., thinking nothing about it. And I know a lot of people end up eating at 5 or 6. There's no right or wrong here. So what you need to do is you need to come up with 2 or 3 options for every single meal. And that could be snacks too, right? So you might go, I've got breakfast, I've got lunch, and I've got dinner, and I've got snacks and snacks. Now what you need to do is you need to come up with what is an amazing breakfast, or for me it's like, what is amazing first drink? What is an amazing breaking the fast? What is an amazing lunch? What is an amazing snack? Now if you have 2 or 3 options here for each, then it becomes very easy to just do the same over and over with small modifications. So what I do is I share with my students a lot, like these are the things I eat over and over, but then I'll find, the other day I found some grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee, and I found some Manuka honey. And I was like, ooh, this is cool, or I found some smoked mussels, and I added them into my food. And so it wasn't that I was like looking for them, because really what you want to do is you want to figure out what foods do I need, and you want to make these the staples of your diet, so that it comes to the point when I go to the supermarket, I don't have a list. I just go in, I'm like, doop, 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 doop. These things, we open the fridge, we're like, okay, we can make quesadillas, okay, we can make, we can make sausages and sauerkraut with some eggs and some potatoes. And if you guys follow my stories, you see, like, I'm always posting my stories. Like, I love to eat, and food is so amazing to me, but I don't want to have stress around it, right? So that's it. That's as simple as it gets. And if you have a family, I really highly recommend that you get them in on this. You make it like a fun planning time, right? You have 6 kids, like, whew, that's hard. But you guys can come to some agreements on some staple things, right? You can come to agreement. I had a student who she would tell me, oh, it's so hard because, I put everything together for Babe, but Dad comes and he just grabs a thing that's the easiest in the fridge, and it's often not what I would give her. And, you know, we're healing her teeth specifically, so I want her to be on this more nutritious diet than the other kids. I said, okay, we came up with a plan to literally have a Tupperware full of all the little things. It was like, I think for her it was like cheese and fruit, or it was like yogurt and fruit, and they were like, she was young, so it was like we had to get creative with how she was getting high quality nutrition in her body. And it was like, put it there, so when Dad opens the fridge, he may even have a note on it. Dad opens the fridge and he goes, oh, what's more simple than opening the fridge and going, oh, here's a Tupperware with food that my Babe already loves, than going in and trying to find other things, right? Because we want to work with our families. We don't want to get in conflict and stress, right? And I will tell you guys, when you start to improve your nutrition and eat nutritiously and eat in a way that heals these teeth, you are really going to love the foods, and your family will love them too. But the key is not to push them, force them, or anything like that. We want to make this, you know, just like with yourself. You're not ready until you're ready. Your family should be having this as a wonderful, exciting experience. And a lot of people come to me and they don't like a lot of foods, right? They have a lot of restrictions. That doesn't matter. You can still find things that work for you. And most people, the foods that they're already eating are the key to healing, because a lot of the foods that you're currently eating are dead versions of the wonderful live foods that will bring so much healing to your body. And the only reason that those foods are dead is because you know, we live in a commercial age where everything is about cheap, 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 right? So maybe you aren't buying cheap, but the manufacturer is saying, how can we make this product cheaper so we make more profit? So the food that comes to your table, maybe you don't even know it, right? And a lot of people are buying organic and they're doing their best, but they're not getting food that is fully nourishing them. Maybe even because they're just eating the wrong foods for their body, right? They might be eating the wrong diet. They might be preparing food incorrectly. Simple, small things, right, can drain the nutrition out of a whole meal. And so we want to be really, really mindful of these things. Okay. So that is the planning. That's the planning phase. So your plan for 2022, right? So that basically you want to just have the bare bones, right? You want to have all the meals kind of set up so that if you want to go to dinner instead out at a restaurant, cool. But if you don't, you know what you're making, and family knows what they're making, right? Imagine if you have a Monday through Friday meal plan list of like a few options, then you can start outsourcing to hubby. You can start outsourcing to kids. You know, and this is something that I had to put together because I got really sick when I was pregnant and I couldn't cook, right? And now I'm breastfeeding all the time, so I can't really be in the kitchen. So my partner has to do that. So this is something that is really, really, really going to be helpful if you can kind of sit down and get it together. So I am going to go ahead and take any final questions you have. And then I'm going to also, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to share my program because I'm opening it up again for this week. This week only, I'll be opening up. I've got 7 spots, right? So I've got 7 spots that are available for this month, and I'm opening up only for this current week. So next Sunday we close, and then the day after we're going to get started on another round. So drop your questions here, because if you've been with me for all this time, I'm guessing you have some questions, and I would love to answer them for you. So while I'm waiting for those questions to come in, let me share with you my program, because I get a lot of questions and I realize I don't really get into my program enough for people to understand I have people join me and they ask me questions and I'm like, wow, I didn't really explain it enough that people really feel comfortable with it, right? So this program is not for everyone, just like this class was not for everyone. So this program is really for people who they don't have much time, but they do want to take time to learn themselves. So if you're looking to come into a program and just be told what to eat, then unfortunately my 2 programs, Heal Your Teeth and Heal Your Gums, are not going to help you with that. Because a few reasons. One, you are not one size fits all. There's no one size fits all diet. You are unique. You have unique needs and you have unique preferences and you have unique things that you do not like, right? And so another thing is where you live, you do not have the access to the same things that I have. So even if I gave you my list, I doubt that you would be able to find everything that I can find. And I can't even find everything that I can find all the time, right? Things go out of stock. My favorite supermarket, unfortunately, is closing down in a few days. And it is so hard, right? Because now I have to source things from a different place. But I am not fearful because I know how to do this. So if you can take an hour a week to learn about the different ways to support your body, your unique body, by the end of 6 weeks, you will have created what I call a personal power protocol, which is your 1-page menu of foods that will help heal you. And you will also know whether it is the physiological aspects, the emotional aspects, the environmental aspects, or oral care that have been causing these issues for you, right? And so what I'm going to be doing too is I am going to be offering a phone call with me I'm only going to be opening up a few spots though, because I just don't have a whole lot of time. So if you would love one of those, either DM me or I will drop it after this session in the comments, and you can sign up for a session with me, because a lot of people have further questions of like, can you actually help me? What about this situation? What about that situation, right? Does it still apply? And I want to answer those questions for you. So Heal Your Teeth and Heal Your Gums, they're 6-week programs. So you get access, you sign up and you will get immediate access, and you will be able to start going through the course, and it takes you through everything that I've taught you today on a much deeper, much more expanded level, right? And it's about 8 hours in each course. There is an option to buy both at like a much reduced rate, and that is when you go in to checkout. Again, I will drop that link after this class, and I will, or you can DM me and I will send you the information. So the cart opens today, closes next week. Once you get in there, once you get in the class, the program, you also have, so you have lifetime access to the program, lifetime access to all updates. You have live trainings with me like this. I do come in almost weekly to do live trainings, and you have live Q&As like this with me. At the moment, they're weekly. They may be every 2 weeks, but generally they're every 1 to 2 weeks. I'm in there Monday through Friday answering questions to make sure that you are not getting stuck with anything. And there is a private Facebook community where there are other amazing women and a couple of lovely men who are natural, holistic minded like you. I'm sharing recipes in there every day. I'm sharing more information in there. We're sharing meals, we're sharing tips, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Okay, so now that that has been covered, let's see. Let me answer these questions. How do we know which foods are better for our body than others? Yeah, so a lot of it is creating, so obviously the course really teaches you how to do that, but essentially you start getting in with your own intuition, right? You start learning, once you learn how to pick, how to source, select, and prepare all foods, right? Because all foods you can eat, but some foods you're going to prefer. And so once you learn how to source, select, and prepare all foods, so if all foods are equal, then it becomes which foods do you love the most? Which foods do you crave, right? Which foods can you not get enough of? I used to hate liver, now I like crave it. I used to like sauerkraut. Once I got into it, it's like I craved it, you know? And so that's how you start to know. Because you can go and you can get all your tests done and you can get vitamin markers and this and that, and people do that. But really, when you start to tap into your innate wisdom of like, oh, like it's not candy, right? Junk food, you can't, it messes with your brain. But real food, if you start to crave it or you start to want to eat a ton of it, that's how you know that's a personal power food for you. And it may change, right? So sometimes you need a lot of things at a certain time in your life, and once you've stocked up on it, then you can eat a normal amount, right? Like the last time I made pate, I ate so much of it, and it was wild. I loved it, and it was like, okay, my body needed that. And so so that's one way to do that. How did I learn all of this? Okay. So let me answer your question, Laura. That's something I totally forgot to add. So I do offer a payment plan, and when you go through, you will see it's, I believe it's 3 payments, split into 3 payments. Currently it is $100 off. So it's a $497 investment for the 6 weeks, and the lifetime, basically the lifetime, it's a lifetime package. So, and then it's split into 3. So it's a little bit cheaper if you go with the full sum, but it's also really, really great to do a payment plan. I do a payment plan for almost every single course I buy. I don't know. I love it. I love payment plans because they let me jump in there at a lower rate. And that's how it works. So, Ellie, how did I learn all of this? What is your background? So, Ellie, I'm really glad that you asked me this. Hi, Anna. Merry Boxing Day, or if you celebrate in Australia. So I'm really glad because I didn't see Buffy today on, but I'm sure she'll be watching the replay because we've been chatting, and she had asked me to talk a bit more about this. So how did I learn all of this? I learned all of this because I was in like deep despair, and I had a friend who who would come to the farmer's market that I was at every week, and I told her I was in a lot of pain, and she told me, hey, well, do you know that you can heal that naturally? And I was like, wait, what? I've never heard of that before. But I was so desperate that I was willing to do anything. And so she kind of pointed me in the direction of Weston Price, which many of you have heard, and I read his book, Physical and Nutritional Degeneration, which is really, really dense text, right? If you've read it, it's essentially like a 400 or 500 page research manual. But I was a student at the time, so I was really, really into like reading and interpreting ridiculous amount of texts, and that's how Heal Your Teeth came around. That's how Heal Your Teeth and Heal Your Gums courses came around, because I was like, dang, like I tell people to go and read these books, but like they're so like they don't even, people were reading these books or they're getting bored, and it was like you just need the answers in bite-sized form. You need something quick, and you need to understand like you don't need to extrapolate from 100 pages, right? You need to understand, can I eat meat? If I can't, can I eat meat? So what kind of meat am I sourcing? How am I selecting? Oh, I guess we're good. Okay, we're good. So you just need to know, can I eat meat? Can I eat veggies? Can I eat eggs? Can I eat dairy? Can I eat? And if I can eat all these things, how do I prepare them? How do I source them? How do I select them? Does everything need to be organic, or does it need to be beyond organic? Do some things not have to be organic? Are there some foods I absolutely should avoid, Or can I still eat sugar? Can I eat milk? What about if I am allergic to eggs? What about, all of these things are super, super important. So that's how I got into that. And so beyond that, so Shirley's my girlfriend. Shirley's probably in her 80s now, and she's just an elder with so much wisdom. And so just to expand on your question and to answer your question, Buffy, you had asked me how, could you talk more about this woman who taught you? And I will say, I'm 34, but I'm a little old lady in my heart. And I was raised around older people because my Greek family, you go out with the whole family and you're just a kid, but you're in it. So ever since a young child, I have been around older people, and I don't consider them old people. I consider the people I grew up around to be elders. And elders, the difference between an elder and an old person, in my mind, is that an elder has wisdom, and they are constantly asking questions, and they never stop learning. Therefore, the wisdom that they have, they don't need to stay current. They don't need to be on TikTok, but they need to be constantly committed to knowledge and growth, and that is how they become an asset to our community. Unfortunately, we have a lot of old people who just stay in the time frame that they learned everything in, and they don't want to change and they don't want to grow. Now, Shirley is wonderful. She's in her 80s. She lives up in Oregon. She's not connected to any social media anymore. She barely was anyway. She lives up on a farm with her great-grandson, and she's farming. And she's always when she calls me, she tells me about new things. She just blows my mind. She just told me the other day that they outlawed midwives back in, I think it was the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and homeopathy. And so part of why women have babies in hospitals is because there was a time frame in America where it was illegal to do it at home because they just didn't want they wanted things to move into a hospital, made more money, more control, right? She told me about how her child had, she had, I think, 5 or 6 children, and she said they gave her a shot to dry up her breast milk after every child. She was having children in the 50s and 60s. And she said it was the last child. She said, no, I don't want the shot to dry up my breast milk. And she told me that she had a bond with her last child that she didn't have with her other children. So I love old people. I'm always trying to, when I get to be around them, it feels like a privilege. I learn so much from them. One other thing is I grew up all over the world. So I grew up in England. I was born in England. I grew up, all my summers were spent in Greece with my family. And then I finished high school in Japan. And then I traveled for a year and I volunteered in different countries. And these were all kind of like more traditional countries. And so absolutely, Jamie, I'm so glad you made it. And I'm wrapping up here too, so you're not going to miss too much. So I grew up in these traditional cultures. And when I moved here to the States about 15 years ago, I started realizing, oh, wow, I could really see why people are having the issues that they're having. And it's because we're so disconnected here. It's so easy to be disconnected because not only are we disconnected, our parents were disconnected and their parents are disconnected. Why? Because most of our families here in America are immigrants. And so when they left, they were disconnected from their homelands, right? The Greek side is very, very strong and they are very attached to their roots. But a lot of other Europeans are completely disconnected from what their ancestors were eating and how they were living. And so we're guessing, but there's so much marketing out there, right? There's so much of our food is marketed, so much of our food is commercial sales, it's food science, and obviously, if you're following what's going on with the V, it's like just a campaign to get people to buy into things that aren't necessarily beneficial for them. Because why? Profit, profit, profit. Okay, folks, I'm going to get going. I had a phenomenal evening with you all tonight. If there's no more questions, I'm going to wrap it up. And thank you, thank you, thank you. like I said, I'm going to drop those links in here, but feel free to DM me. Like I said, I've got 7 spots. Let's make 2022 the year that you don't have to think about your teeth and your gums anymore, that you feel better than you've ever felt. Let's get that going for you and make that a reality. And just know that it's easy. There's people that we've got, I think, 40 people in the group now. I've trained over 50 people, and you know, these things work because they're real. They're real. Everybody gets results, and I can't wait to jump in and share with those of you who are joining, and I hope that you have a fabulous night. Bye.